think we did most of this already. Not sure. Yeah, I haven't visited the upper floor at least. The bomb.
You there! Back off! Bicky boom! One more step and Bicky boom!
No, don't go! Please help me! That thing is keeping me trapped here! It's crazy! It'll kill me!
Yeah, their entire existence is to blow up, so I'm not gonna call his bluff. Okay. Calm down, we're not coming any closer. Let's just talk about this.
Calm down. We're not coming any closer. Let's just talk about this.
Yes, don't worry, miss. We'll get you out of this fix somehow.
We just keep a trap shot or Bicky boom! No folks, shoot or Bicky boom! Last warning or Bicky boom!
It will kill her, without a doubt.
God,
We met-
the fuse is getting shorter! Stop it! Freeze it!
Stop talking! No.
Yeah, I'm definitely loading. Because I don't even know how to attack without. What? There's a button that you're gonna use force attack, as you call it. It's one of the shift control ults. Not a good time to start experimenting on things, though. It's control. Freeze it. Do we have a freeze tactic or gold, but it's
He's got into
unlikely.
worse than the trolls. Half as dumb and twice as mean.
Yeah, I'm going to just save scum this no matter what, because I actually want to learn how to deal with situations like this. This seems like fairly harmless. So I seem to have bitter cold that might work. It won't kill it, but it might freeze it.
God, the
You there! Back off!
No, don't go!
Calm down.
Yes, don't worry.
We just keep a trap.
Thank you for switching the character.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you! You saved my life! It was that cur of a Frederick that did this to me. He locked me in here with that ridiculous creature.
What's with the soap? I'm getting the soap. Maybe a few weeks old fish in exchange.
Dear me, I need to get out of this room. Yes, I'll go downstairs to catch a breath of fresh air, but do come and talk to me again if you want to hear more about what transpired here. My thanks once more, sweet hero.
That's sort of an infuriating thing, by the way. You're trying to go and do something with your character. It switches to another character. I understand why, because it's only the main characters that can have the important dialogue. But in a situation like this, where sort of timing is pretty crucial, that's fairly annoying.
How perceptive!
It would be rude of me not to loot this place now. Might not have the chance later on. Freezing arrow. Splendid fire stab. Actually, it is quite splendid. This could be good for the non-fire mage. Johan. Seriously? Can't identify? Has been switching items again apparently. I need lore master. I have lore master. Why can't I identify this? Because I don't know, I should have, yeah, I don't understand why I couldn't identify it. Armor rating, immunity to blind. Almost everyone will have a weaker armor class. It's lightweight and has a massive amount of armor. Well, compared to our typical gear. Initiative. Initiative is nice, but I think we can't keep ignoring armor forever. 7% physical damage reduction versus enemies of your own level. Right. So what we fucking do? I still have a normal armor. Okay, what's the condition of our equipment? Just a quick glance. The boots are in fairly bad shape. Yeah, I don't really get this. I mean, I appreciate that it's very trivial to actually repair the equipment, but that sort of makes the repair system even more retarded. I bet for the most part, if you would have removed it entirely, a vast majority of people would not have noticed the difference. Also, I don't recall a single event yet where it might have been made a difference or provided something interesting. I feel like this is a game that could benefit greatly from just streamlining things a little bit. Or not even streamlining necessarily, but further developing, improving the gameplay. Take a look at it, your collected metrics and look at that. What exactly got actually used? What I think this contributes is mostly bugging down the initial gameplay quite a bit. Because you have to, a new player doesn't know if it's going to be a big problem or not. So they're gonna worry about it, they're gonna make precautions about it, they're gonna try to learn the things and so forth, and in the end it's all just a waste of time. They don't know it, so they waste the time anyway. Rather I say I waste my time, but the same thing really. And I think that's the bigger problem. I mean, waste your timing on a game mechanic that gets barely used, that's not exactly a good management. You could have used that time to implement something interesting or further develop the actual good portions of the game. But it does have a proper downside. I think I'll take the sheets of paper this time. I do want to get the spell scroll production going. Even the mages themselves could use additional spell scrolls as backup. Sometimes you just don't want to deal with the cooldown. Sturdy rube. Standard equipment is vastly more valuable than the best equipment we got from the previous section of the game. It's trivial to bypass. We probably should do it now because of the woman escape to the lower levels. So there's nothing preventing us. Wooden log. Two-handed crushing. I mean, I'll take it. And broom could have been used, right? Yeah, we still have the skills for this. That's not exactly a huge loss for us. A blunt dagger. Piercing damage, decent amount of it too. Decorative sword, wooden stick. Painting of a cock. Decent earth wand. Blades look standard issue. A wooden pen, one-handed weapon. Wait a minute, why is this trophy usable? Soon enough, my book will be finished. The brothel room and eyewitnesses account. Okay. So what was going on around here? Why send a bomb to deal with a prostitute? What did she know?
Praise the goddess. I've passed the trial. Friend, this is most excellent news. Welcome to the Immaculate Fold. Yes!
Oh, my hero! My heart is still racing. That little monster's face haunts me every time I so much as blink.
Tell me about yourself.
Bonnie's my name, and I am, or rather I was, a lover for hire. Folks would come to me when they were in need of some company, conversation, and more intimate desires. But this fiasco has put an end to it. I'll never set another foot into a client's room, not on my life.
Tell me about the town.
Nothing much, I'm afraid, but go ahead. I'll answer what I can.
Do you like it here in Silver Glen?
I used to, you know. Merchants came and went. They paid well and gave me gifts. Fewer and fewer of them travel here now because of the undead around Seal and the goblins holed up in the mines. Times are hard for a working girl, to tell you the truth. But where would I go? There's danger to be found everywhere these days. These bedeviled days.
So I suppose you're not an immaculate.
I haven't been immaculate for a long time now, darling. And if I see what passes for immaculate here in town, I don't want to join the club anew either. Give me fun, not fanaticism. Give me zeal, not zealotry. These people, I honestly don't know what has gotten into them.
Okay, what about this Frederick fellow?
Yes?
Why would he lock you in a room with a bomb?
Search me. He's a regular of mine. With rather eccentric tastes, I might add. He always wants me to wear a grey wig, for example, and walk with a cane. But I digress. Anyway, he recently spent the night again and I couldn't sleep because of his muttering. He talked something awful all through the night. In the morning, I told him he had gone on and on about some Maradino character and a supposedly secret treasure layer somewhere in the woods. Next thing I knew, he flew into a rage, said the treasure was his and his alone, and that I was nothing but a meddling care. I was just about to let him know I won't stand for such language when he pulled that monster of a bicky out of his satchel and told the little gnome to guard the princess and to go boom if I tried to escape. I spent hours of horrid fear up in that room until you saved me.
Yes, so that's why I sort of thought initially that the bomb would not even blow himself up. I mean, he would have... this also sort of makes no sense to me in no other way. Because doing it this way seems to imply that he just didn't want Bonnie to get involved until he got the treasure. So he was buying time. I mean, if he wanted to kill the woman, there would have been easier ways to do it, and ways that you could be certain she's dead. So the bomb only makes sense if it's a delaying tactic. Which sort of doesn't really make much sense that it would just decide to suddenly bomb itself when I arrived. But nothing I can do about that. It is what it is. There was some kind of talk about a guy who seems to be able to handle the poisonous mineral or whatever it is. I'd like to find that guy.
Goddess greetings, friend. Her greatness gave us fire, her greatness gave us earth, and my savvy brings you spells at the best rate in town. Come, give me your best offer.
I talked to you before, possibly. I could use a better armor. Immunity to fear. Master level. Deadly spores. A lot of poison damage. Immolation. Instantly set a target fire. Deals 80 to 98 fire damage. Requires level 12 only, not 15, so this is actually reasonable. Single target fire attack with a decent chance of setting burn. I don't think this is particularly good, but I think it's also the first spell that actually does proper damage on the fire line. Fire more or less has been so far just setting things on fire rather than instantly doing a lot of damage to them. I think I'm not sure I want to buy this. It's gonna be quite a few levels before I can get access to it, and I can always just teleport in town and buy it.
Where the wind blows, the goddess breathes. Where the rivers run, the goddess weeps. How can I connect you to our eternal goddess, my friend?
A lot of water weaponry. Master water spells, maybe? No, a lot of adept. Ice wall. Create wall to block enemies or to lock them inside. 52 to 62 fire damage. 100% chance to bruise enemies. Draw a line where you want the wall to appear. This could be very useful. Even if it just buys you a turn of time, that could be useful. Nether Swamp. Select two characters. One of the characters can be you. And they switch places. Yeah, I think the air magic is one of the better ones. Basically because it has a huge amount of these mobility things and things to that allow you to get out of trouble. I think it had the invisibility too. So if you go solo on a mage of some sort, air would probably be the thing you want to use. Especially the swap, because it could be anything like a rat scurrying about, probably. So you teleport to freedom by leaving the rat there for them to ignore. And as it's fairly cheap, has 5 turn cooldown. With my intelligence level, you can probably go lower than that. Removes surfaces from the battlefield, reveals invisible creatures, and clears warm, burning, and hastened. Adept. Yeah, that sounds good too. Something you wouldn't normally use, but in certain battlefields, it's that would be a godsend. Probably you can use it about once in a battle though. There are way too many fire ones. I think I'll sell the rapier too. I mean, it's a fine weapon, but we can't really use it for the next 4 levels. So I'm sort of hoping we're gonna get another rapier during that time period. Right, at least now we wanted to pay them anything. We probably have actually other sellable items, but they're not on this character. I'm not even sure I have the skills to use those, but we can hope. Ice wall.
These goblins are worse than the trolls. Half as dumb and twice as mean. Friend, this is most excellent news. Welcome to the Immaculate Fold.
I can feel the goddess being a caution.
Probably can't. Well, actually, I might be able to get this. There are quite a few key skills that we aren't using all that often, so I can easily place those. On the job. Right. Very pleased about this.
Hi there, cutie pie. Wanna have a good time?
It's not Lawrence who I want to meet, someone else, but Someone else might be in Loris instead of this.
What news from the mine?
Yeah, Brandon.
No news, sir. Goblins will slice us to ribbons if we approach the bridge.
Unacceptable. I want those goblins out of my mine by yesterday. Send another man. As many as it takes.
We haven't enough men among us to take on even a few of them, sir.
Are you deaf? I said I want those goblins out. Make it happen, even if you have to spear Drexus yourself.
Source hunter, are you? What brings you to this neck of the woods? The goblins? The orcs? The cult? Or the whole pretty bouquet?
Master Earth Resistance. Elegant Claude Earth Wand. I've heard that you can teach me how to deal with the rot-spreading mineral you've been picking up.
I'm no man to refuse a source hunter. Ask away, friend.
Can you tell me about Tenebrium?
A strange sort of substance, discovered here around 2 years ago, and folks have been clamouring to get their paws on the rancid stuff ever since. To the right buyer, it's worth more than diamonds.
Do you know about the rot?
Rot? Oh, you're a curious sort of fella, aren't you? Ask around. Half the men here have a brother who died from it. The other half are cured by that cult.
What do you know about the Immaculates? No. Do you know anything about a miner named Ben?
I remember him well. Decent man, strong-backed, but something of a funny accent, no? He managed to leave Silverglen alive, but as I recall, the symptoms of wrath were already upon him.
What do you know about the Immaculates?
That circus rolled into town shortly after the Tenebrium was discovered. Some freak woman with a freak gemstone managed to cure rot by some strange magic and convinced most of the locals that she were the conduit of the goddess or some such tripe.
Tell me about yourself.
Don't be surprised if you hear more than a few unkind words about yours truly around town. An overseer's got to enforce his share of unpopular guild decisions, you know. I'm finished with this one pony rodeo, though. I did my best by these roughnecks, and now it's time for old Brandon to take a load off. In fact, you may be able to help speed my retirement plan along.
Give me the details.
Let's hear the details.
I must say, I'm also intrigued.
I knew a source hunter'd perk up at the sound of a challenge. Between you and me, the Troll King's sitting on a piece of treasure of more value than even he knows. A metal called Tenebrium that can fetch a prettier sum than its weight in gold. I intend to lift it, sell it, and live out the rest of me days in comfort. The devil's in the details, though, and I haven't managed to find a way to access the King's Cave, much less make off with the stuff without being noticed. But you're a source hunter. You can sniff out any point of mystery. So let's make a deal, You find the Tenebrium and bring it to me, and I'll deliver you a few pieces of information about Silverglen, and Lawrence in particular, that are sure to make your mouth water. I wouldn't wish the wrath on me worst enemy, though. So let me give you a little something to contain the Tenebrium bars. It's lined with the fragments of a special stone that keeps rats' ill effects at bay.
Tell me about the Troll King.
Apart from Gungir's stature and incurable case of the uglies, he's not so different from a parakeet. Got a brain the size of a pea, and a fervent passion for all things bright and shiny. The nutty oaf sits on a river of silver beneath these mines, but leases it to the mining company for a fraction of its worth in gold. He'd rather put those hefty minions of his on toll duty than mine these hills himself for 5 times the reward. I can't be certain myself where his cave is located, but at least one of those oaf lackeys of his must know where to look. They've got to do something with all the gold they've gathered in the course of guarding those damned bridges, haven't they?
More piece of
Well,
thievery.
kick my cap and call me Sue. Taking tasks from back dealers, are we? Gods almighty. must you look every gift horse in the mouth. Tenebrium may well prove to be of incalculable value to us. And us, unfortunately, still includes you.
Key to the mine office.
A source hunter! My liege, I am at your disposal. I am Lawrence, the representative of the mining guild responsible for operations in Silver Glen. Please, valiant hunter, let us know how we can assist you.
Lucky charm. And a bow. Decent bow. Tell me about yourself.
Oh, I am no one special. Merely a humble servant of the guild, and shepherd to the happy flock of miners within this settlement. My only cause for complaint, Your Grace, are these awful goblins. They're starving us out, refusing even a single honest miner his right to work. Perhaps, my most upright highness, you might be able to help us with this little problem.
I don't particularly want to even bring up the Nadia issue, because I'm sure she has, so trying to direct approach probably is just a waste of time. I probably need the aid of Brandon, or just pickpocket. What do you know about the Immaculates?
Enough to know the whole institution has been a blight on productivity. With the blessings of the conduit to replace a sense of a job well done, the miners care hardly at all for getting the mines back in good working order. Please, Your Grace, I am completely at your disposal.
Tell me about Tenebrium.
Useless stuff, my liege. Worse than common dirt. But 10 times as difficult to extract, and infinitely more dangerous. If only we'd known in advance the terrible effect rot would have, we would have stopped trying to clear it immediately.
What is rot exactly?
Yes, a dreadful business that. I've been fortunate enough to avoid the sickness so far, my liege, but my heart truly breaks for the families of those who've been afflicted. You see, my liege, when a miner has been overlong exposed to tenebrium, he begins showing certain symptoms. Gangrene about the extremities, fatigue, malaise. At first we attributed these symptoms to, well, to poor diet, laziness, and general malingering. Had we known then what we've since discovered, we never would have continued operations. But alas, mistakes were made, and those we lost can never be brought back, no matter what that crackpot conduit would have one believe.
The conduit? Care to tell me more?
My liege, you ought not to concern yourself with the fraudulent leader of a crackpot cult. Really, the whole affair is an utter embarrassment to Silver Glen. Some insane huckster calling herself the conduit of the goddess made her way to Silver Glen at the height of the rot's hold on our miners. The people were desperate, you see. When by magic or illusion she managed to cure a handful of them of the affliction, every last one of the bunch began speaking of her as though she were some messiah. Now most of the town is taken with her little cult of Immaculates, as she calls them. Fortunately for her, she disappeared shortly after her little trick. Or I would have thrown her into prison and swallowed the key myself. Imagine hypnotizing an entire town with nothing more than snake oil.
Tell me about the troubles in the mines.
You must forgive me if I become somewhat overcome when discussing it, my liege. To think how I've been betrayed. To think how the humble miners of Silver Glen suffer.
Lawrence is so full of shit that it's actually surprising he can say that with a straight face.
I invited a tribe of goblins to assist us in clearing the tenebrium from our mine, you see. The leader of the troop, a satin-spitting Satan named Drexis, promised to clear the tenebrium and be gone. When the job was done, though, he and his band of totem-brained fiends refused to vacate. They've kept close guard of the bridges to the mine since, and they'll slice whoever dares approach them into ribbons. These goblins follow Drexis like lemmings, your grace, and if only I could undo the traitor, they'd slither back to the swamp they crawled from. Drexis's head on my mantle would save countless miners from a slow starvation, my liege. What's one goblin over countless disenfranchised workers?
Yes, what indeed? I wonder what's really going on.
I don't mean to make trouble where there ain't any, comrade, but in my years of hunting source, I learned that anyone so eager to climb into your lap after a moment's meeting is hiding something they hope you won't discover. I'm not saying this Lawrence character is involved in sorcery, but it wouldn't exactly surprise me a lick to find out he knows more than he's letting on.
Oh shit. Yeah, I thought the same. His fawning is more likely a symptom of fear than of respect. Have no fear, we'll cut the tall grass soon enough, and then the snake will have nowhere to hide.
Warms my heart to picture him squirming about plain as day with 3 seasoned source hunters on his tail. Nowhere to hide his sniveling mug than at the bottom of a burlap sack.
Yeah, I'm sort of questioning how much of a source hunter you actually are. Because it seems like she's constantly bringing the source hunter thing up. The source hunters themselves aren't.
Oh, yeah. You know, I bet she was just feeling sorry for that whiny lump of toll-taking fat.
Is this it? Yeah, it's not much of a city.
They say the undead are immune to rot. I guess 'cause they're already rotten.
I think we should head for the witch's cabin.
The world is not immaculate as yet, friend. Be wary. Be vigilant.
God damn it.
If these villagers ever find out what Lawrence did, it's curtains for him.
Yeah, I sort of think the same. Horace has been a bad boy. Okay, this is probably one important cave. How to get it open though, that's a different matter. Sharp lamps. Not a bad weapon if we actually have to switch things around. With slashing weapon being highly resisted. Although slashing weapon seems to be for once a solid weapon here. What is this? Portal to the fairy kingdom, maybe? Surrounded by water or ice. That's what it looks like at least.
Stop for death, or it will stop for you. Oblige death now, for it obliges you. Tell me, traveler, do you wish to die?
Pavilion of Death. Not particularly, no.
Death sends its finest carriage for you, yet you deign to step inside? An insult, yes, but unhappy guests are so unpleasant.
Pavilion of Death. Okay. Sure, we'll come back to it. Decaying mound. History.
Poor man. It seems he was eaten by a beast.
Well, partially eaten, to be more precise.
Yeah. Do we want to follow the blood trails? I don't think so. More systematic approach to things. Now this is where we started, right? It's a void watcher. Alfie.
Suffer for it.
Bjorn and Alfie. Immaculate Summoner. Watcher. Steel Crossbow. Shadow Essence. Seems like they're blocking the only path. Probably something along the lines of either join us or we're gonna fight.
Ah, the Source Hunter. It is my greatest pleasure to announce to you that we Immaculates have captured the feared White Witch and quarantined her house of horrors.
Antidote strong sarong of spirit, poison resistance and initiative. It's probably better than what most of our people have. Yeah, not really.
Yes, the greatest known threat to Rivellon has been neutralized, thanks in no small part to you, Source Hunter. Your activities in Sicil drove the snake to her den, and that's where we Immaculates sprang our trap.
Who are you?
I am a proud Immaculate, sworn to use my summoner's expertise in service of the goddess's one way and the greater good.
Yeah, I need to question the White Witch about her involvement in the murder of Councillor Jade.
Ah, the High Counselor of Sicil. We mourned his tragic death. Yes, every Immaculate honors the memory of that noble man. Still, Source Hunter, I am sworn on my life to guard this quarantine. I serve a higher authority than yours, and will not waver in my duty.
You said you mourned the death of Councillor Jade. With your help, we can put his murder to rest. You lost.
I do mourn the Counselor, but one matter has nothing to do with the other. I've sworn an oath, and I'll not tolerate even a Source Hunter's interference. If I find you beyond this point, I'll be forced to summon the greatest depths of my powers to stop you!
Fair enough. Yeah, how exactly are we gonna get past that though?
Dare to defy an immaculate command? You'd seek the White Witch despite our warnings?
They seem to be air users. Spellcasters and fighters. Yeah, I can probably get rid of that stun effect. Weak against Earth. Well, I can't do much about that. I suppose I could try Bitter Cold to hold on to one of them. Stun, but he died. Okay. This wall might not actually be a bad spell for us to use. How does this... Where does this start? Draw a line where you want the wall to appear. It doesn't necessarily start with you, it's anything.
And just where you're going.
Meet your demise!
Demise indeed. Okay, fire probably works just fine, but it doesn't do anything really special. We need to switch our wands. We got air, right? The one thing we shouldn't be using. I think I got a good earth wand. Not like that, dumbass. Same for you, anything but air.
Running from bad to worse. I bind you in solemn battle oath.
It's one problem less we have. Void Wonder alone isn't going to be all that ridiculous. Not sure I can do anything about her though. I'm gonna sleep on my ass when I go on the ice.
Eternal silence awaits you.
I needed that.
Not that tough a fight. Very suitable for our ability level. There might be some consequences in the actual town because of this, but I don't particularly care.
I feel better already! As good as a new head. I feel better already!
Top leather belts. Probably better than most of what we have. Initiative and hit points. Initiative, immunity to fear, hit points. Probably good for Scarlet. Immunity to fear is very valuable. Yeah, it's just far superior to what we currently have. You have a blacksmithing. Totally unnecessary for you. Same initiative, but with more numbers. Mushroom Ikari. Ikari wasn't a person? Pretty sure it was. Basic crap. Cabin of the White Witch. Want to talk to the mushroom. Without the doubt, we'll have to do something before we can actually gain access to this place. Mushroom to me seems like the obvious option. Poisonous mushroom, electric mushroom, probably fire mushroom, ice mushroom, multiple ice mushrooms.
Are you so desperate for company that you've taken to befriending fungi? Well, we're glad to hear it.
A talking mushroom? Now I've seen everything.
Oh, somehow we doubt that very much. Have you ever seen the Moth King's silver spoon? Nearly microscopic. No, Source Hunter. We do believe this life hasn't finished surprising you. Not in the least.
What do you know about this barrier?
It's quite a lovely sort of barrier, isn't it? Who doesn't enjoy a gentle, breezy motion against one's backside after all? Then again, we suspect it's been hoisted up by some not-so-savoury characters, and we happen to know just how to remove it. The only trouble is finding the right sort of clever, sort of intrepid sort of person to entrust such a secret to. Here's what we propose. We've a fresh batch of 3 brain teasers hot off our thinking caps. Perhaps, if you can answer them correctly, we might find you spirited enough to entrust with the barrier's deepest, darkest secrets. But it isn't all fun and games. We hardly offer second chances to the beriddled. If you give us a single false answer, we'll clam up like morning glories at midnight. So, do you have what it takes?
Sure.
This is better news than the Orc Queen misplacing her thumbscrew. But enough delays. Let us begin. Your first riddle begins thus.
So we can't even guess incorrectly.
The ravenous brute tore down my chartreuse gown, ripped out my silken hair by its roots, wrenched my children from me, and fed me to the hogs. Who am I?
Yeah, I have no idea what chartreuse means. Inability to understand the question is always a little bit of a problem with riddles. I'm guessing it's some kind of a plant, though. Ravenous brute tore down my chartreuse gown. So remove something. Ripped out my silken hair by its roots. Wretched my children from me and fed me to the hogs. Who am I? Tore down my chatterous gowns. Ripped out my silken hair by its roots. If it's it's some kind of either a farm plant or an animal. Ear of corn, pumpkin, sheep. Well, ear of corn, I would go.
An ear of corn.
That's right. An ear of corn fits perfectly.
I don't know if it does, but yet you tore down the leaves and other things. Maybe you feed it to the pig, certainly.
Bravo! Bravo! Bravissimo! An ear of corn indeed. Can you imagine a sheep in a chartreuse gown? A pumpkin with silken hair? The fantasies of a fool. Now, on to our second riddle. And this one's sure to stump you.
It's related to trees.
I cannot lie, I cannot lay, but only lie. Who am I?
Lay and lie. Different things. I cannot lie, cannot lay, but only lie. So it's a statement that I cannot lie. I can't lay down, but can lie down. What's the difference? Shit, I don't recall. There's a difference between laying down and lying down. You lay something down and you lie down, I think. So it's a truth that I cannot lay, maybe like lay eggs, but only lie. So a stone cannot lay shit, but can lie somewhere, I suppose. Warlock can lay. Why couldn't they lay something? Politician cannot lay, but only lie. I don't. A mushroom Ikari probably wouldn't be all that familiar with politicians to begin with, so stone would be much more fitting answer. I'll go with stone.
A stone?
That's right. A stone.
You've done it again! I'm thrilled. I'm amazed. I'm liable to present the very last riddle. This one will blow you out of your stockings, so hold on tight. I've a neck as long as twice the width of a toad's tail, as many eyes as half the number of seasons per annum. I'm known to cause hurricanes in the Far East merely by taking off 2 minutes too late. Who am I?
So whether Wayne a man or a butterfly. I have a neck as long as twice the width of a toad's tail. So you really don't have a neck. Toads, I don't think toads have tail. So that's, you don't have a neck. Or does it mean a toad's ass? As in a button, not an actual tail. Anyway. As many eyes as half the number of seasons per year, so you have 2 eyes. I've known to cause hurricanes in the Far East merely by taking off 2 minutes too late. Who am I? Butterfly? Wither Wayne doesn't really fit the last part. Neither does man. The butterfly effects. It could also be sort of a decoy, because that's the... It's a modern thing that people would know, the gamers would know, but I'm not sure how it would relate to this game world. Neck as long as twice the width of Toad's tail. Weather vanes can be almost anything, any shape really. It's really hard to see how that applies. It certainly doesn't really apply to a man. I think I'll go with the butterfly. Many eyes as half the number of seasons. I don't really know much about butterflies. I mean the anatomy of a butterfly, but I'm only going basically by the last clue. I'll go with butterfly. It will also would fit, I suppose, with what the mushroom might know.
Ooh, very good, very good. The last person who tried to solve that riddle puffed away in a small impish huff, mumbling about space-time. But not you. You stuck it out until the very end, you crafty little so-and-so. So, what would you like to know?
What do you know about this barrier?
One thing we know for certain. This barrier doesn't belong here. The wizard Maradino knew as much when he started poking around here. He developed a spell to remove it, but his fancy was caught elsewhere before he bothered to implement it. Down the spell dropped, and up we scooped it. Unfortunately, we aren't quite human enough to get it to work. But you've proven yourself just the right sort of clever, sort of intrepid sort of person we'd love to entrust such a secret to.
What do you know about the White Witch?
We thought you'd never ask. What would you like to know?
Who is she exactly?
Some call her the Guardian of Lucula. And by our estimations, she's more than earned the title. She's a healing witch, concerned mostly with the safety of the living souls, animals and plants alike, of this forest. And she's been here since even before our great-great-great-great-grandmother, Francisca Toadstool the 44th, can recall. We've long lodged adjacent to her little cabin, and she used to greet us with a "How do you do?" every morning. We do hope she's not entangled in anything unsavory. What a shame it'd be if someone with a penchant for heavy-handed hoe-wielding moved in.
Do you know anything about the White Witch's involvement in the murder of Councillor J?
Murder? That doesn't sound like her at all, no. Much more interested in patching things up than tearing them down, that one. Then again, it's hard to tell on what stalk a person truly stands until you've seen them at the end of their rope. Isn't that so? We suppose if someone held a sword to our caps, we'd fight 'em with every last spore we had.
Where is the White Witch?
Somewhere in her cabin, as far as we know. The last we saw her, she and her apprentice Almina were rushing inside, whispering to one another. They seemed rather anxious. Perhaps they knew that those Immaculates were on their trail.
What about the spell scroll that removes this plastic thing?
Are you addressing us? One thing we know for certain. This barrier down the spell dropped, and up we scooped it. Unfortunately, we aren't quite human enough to get it to work. But you've proven yourself just the right sort of clever, sort of intrepid sort of... Oh, so we thought you'd never ask. What would you like to know?
Yeah, you scooped up the spell, but did I get the spell or a removable spell? Yeah, there's not a good indication of what I'm picking up in this game. If it happened at some point, I totally missed it. This isn't the first time I've suddenly found unfamiliar items in my inventory. Marodino the Magnificent and Merciful commands, "Mushrooms make merry. By my masterful machinations, may this barrier be gone." Is that how do you actually use it though? Ah, sent to homestead. We can we don't have to carry everything constantly with us. Crafting equipment might be good idea to send somewhere. Okay, I'll try to get through. Is there a correct place to use it? I'm sort of confused where do you want me to use this.
Death takes you quickly, Source Hunter, for a second tide is swelling.
There seems to be a block. A gate here, so we can probably just block that. Seems to be relying mostly on witchcraft spells. Okay. Now rush through them. Nope. Just go heal them. Probably should spread around. Air damage would only heal them. Do I have any other bows? Different type of steel crossbows. They're a bit too expensive to fire though, and not accurate enough. So maybe a polished longbow. Chance to hit is terrible. 50%. Way to block my own shots.
What's spotted this transgression?
Piercing damage seems to work just fine. No real damage reduction from frozen. Now, I'd like to fireball those guys. And shoot exactly where I want, but good enough. He's pretty much guaranteed to die at this point. Ah, what about you? Don't move. I think I'll add some fire to this. Right. Seems to be working fairly well on them. Yeah, the heat is just god awful. No surprises there though, I knew that beforehand. Do an explosive arrow, I suppose. Don't really have to be all that accurate with it. I would like to ignite some fire here someday.
Confound it!
I just need a single hit. Ah. More fire, please. More zero fire because it was frozen. So it turns to vapor instead of fire. Still, it seems to help us. I mean, they are confused about what to do. They're wasting their turns just moving around here. They do have to come through fire if they want to reach us, so by no means did we waste our time there. I should have something. They're burning quite nicely. The Void Wanderers can probably be destroyed fairly simply at this point. Toxic Grenade. This might ignite even. Right. Whisper.
Missed!
Miss. Care and Witchcraft. Basic stuff though, nothing too dangerous. He's not a real threat to us. Any fire attack would ignite that fire here anyway. Critical hit.
Your brave
opens to welcome you.
Great show of savagery, Source Hunter. But I wonder how you'll fare against an obstacle you can't beat into submission.
We've escaped the void by the skin of our teeth.
And still this shadowy barrier remains. There must be another means of removing it.
There must. Right, I'll loot and leave things here. We'll remove the barrier some other time. Oh, we've started to get level ups again. Where the hell is the ring? Hit this. Because there it is. Because I can't identify it unless I interact with the actual item. Strength and intelligence. The intelligence might be useful. We have hit points and water resistance or intelligence and perception. So strength and intelligence would actually be quite nice. Might be nice for you too. Perception, telekinesis, perception, warpness. Yeah, one got a level up. I'll see what we need later, especially with Scarlet. She has to go with Scoundrel. There's no other option. Maybe around level 12 you would like to have a skill level of 4. It seems like before that there's not much point. In order to get that, how much points do we need? We need 7. And we're more or less getting a single skill point every level up, so at level 12 we should be able to get Scoundrel 4. We're set up with Pyrokinetic already, so maybe Witchcraft or spreading things out a little bit more evenly on other things. I don't know. Worries for another time.